This is Dr. Catherine Collins. I don't know if anyone will ever hear this. It's all over. I'm the only one left.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this review of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. This game was released in 2015 by the Chinese Room on PlayStation 4, and then eventually came out on Windows the next year. This game is highly nominated and awarded, and they have this picture on their website that shows you all the amazing things that this game does. But it is a story-based game leading you to walk through a fictional village and discover the mystery of why everybody is missing in the town. You awaken outside the fictional village of Youten, outside the Vallis Observatory. You don't see anyone. There is no one around. However, you do have several audio messages that you get to hear through radio messages and phone calls and computers being on.
I'm going to continue to broadcast for as long as I am able. If I'm right, we should be able to pick up the signal right across the valley. The event has left markers. We don't understand it yet, but we're going to keep working to try and understand it. You can use them to find what you're looking for. The answers, they're all here. The answers are in the light.
There are several items that are left in the village that have been left abandoned. You see cars with doors open and lights flashing. There are houses with their doors open. There's stuff everywhere that just kind of seems like everybody ran away in a hurry. There is, of course, other signs that something mysterious has happened, as occasionally you happen upon blood on the ground. You see some dirty rags that are covered in blood. There's furniture that's been toppled over. There's other signs of distress as you kind of travel through the village. The game is broken up into 6 different sections where you follow one of the major characters in the story. The first character that you come across is Jeremy, and he is the priest of the village, and he's kind of going around checking up on everybody, trying to help them through this sickness that has plagued the village of Youten. Then the second character is Wendy, who is another character that we will eventually meet named Steven. It's his mother, and she's kind of going through the village trying to reconnect with her son and try to play a bit of the over-involved mother, trying to get into her son's life and try to get him to get back together with his former love. Then we have our third character, Frank, who is Wendy's brother, and apparently is very estranged from his sister, even though they live in the same village. As the times when both are mentioned, it's as though they don't really talk to each other, because Frank, while his wife was dying, would spend his time out at the local bar just drinking instead of being at home and helping take care of his wife. Then our fourth character is Lizzie, who is a counselor at the camp near Youten, but is also Steven's former fiancée. And we have several occasions where we see Wendy try to get Lizzie to reconnect with Steven. We see Steven and Lizzie having an affair together, and we see Lizzie ultimately trying to leave the village of Youten. Our fifth character is Steven, who is one of the scientists at the observatory. He grew up in Youten, and he's very convinced that whatever has happened to the village is very connected with him and what has been going on in his experiments. And then our final character that we meet and get to experience the story of is Kate, who is kind of the main scientist at the Vallis Observatory. She is Stephen's wife, and she has moved with him to the village of Youghton to conduct these experiments. And then the last kind of character that we get to meet is this entity that Stephen and Kate are trying to, I guess, connect with, or to commune with, or do experiments on with, something like that, called the Pattern. And it's this seeming other entity that really, the way it's kind of perceived is as though it is a being made of light. I came across this game because I was on the Firewatch subreddit, and that game is kind of the same sort of idea where you're just a character in a world walking around experiencing a story and a mystery that's going on around you. And one of the things that I've noticed on that particular subreddit is almost everybody likes to ask one question over and over again, and that is, what other games are like Firewatch? And one game that keeps popping up is Everybody Goes to the Rapture. So I thought, okay, well, let's give this one a try. Now, I don't play a ton of games that just kind of start you off and expect you to figure out how to play. There is a little bit of a tutorial in that it'll show you the first time you encounter something, you can interact with this radio, or you have to turn your controller in order to interact with this weird light thing that is happening. It took me about an hour of playing till I finally figured out that I could actually open doors and experience things that were on the inside of all of these houses all over the village. You spend the entire game following around this orb of light that I'm pretty sure is supposed to be the Pattern. So the story is fairly well broken up, introducing you to characters and having you experience their life and these final moments that they all share in this village as you try to figure out what is going on. I ended up finding myself just kind of referring to the orb that I was following as the character, but upon like successive plays of the game, I realized, no, I'm pretty sure I'm following the Pattern, as the Pattern is trying to help me understand what is going on in the story. In the game, you come across these radio broadcasts of codes. I don't really know what the codes mean. I started writing them down at first, figuring that they would ultimately lead to something, but they didn't. And then it was other playthroughs later that I discovered I could actually interact with the radio and get to hear the audio message. The events that the orb is trying to show are the characters' final days, their last moments of existence in the village, where they are trying to piece together what's going on. Some of them you find that they are very scared for what's going on. Others are very stressed. Others are confused. And ultimately, they all receive some sort of closure for their story as the planes overhead go by. As the story develops, you could really feel the sense of urgency and confusion as each of the characters and other people around the village start to disappear. Everybody starts to notice, and they think it's weird, and they want to figure out what's going on. So they all start asking questions and trying to figure out what's going on in the village. the government is trying to tell them that they're quarantining the village of Youten because of an influenza outbreak. But one of the supporting characters that you meet is a doctor who's been practicing for 35 years, and he just straight up says that this makes no sense because the symptoms that they're seeing have nothing to do with the flu. The thing that I think this game really excels at is really immersing you into this mystery. With the combination of no real direction on how to play or where to play, and the open world feel of the game, you really are free to kind of discover as much or as little as you'd like. I played through this game a couple of different times, and the first time I just followed the pattern around and tried to discover whatever it would show me. And then on other playthroughs, I really tried to get off the beaten path and dig into other stuff around me, see what other messages and experiences I could find that would help me understand the story even more. But like a game like BioShock Infinite, this game really waits to deliver its final message until its final moments. I'm trying really hard not to spoil things, but as you move through the game, less people are in existence. Ultimately, to Kate being the last character that you're playing as, she's the last person left in the village at that moment. And her section of playthrough, having heard all of her radio messages and experienced all the rest of the story, is really emotionally compelling, and it really wants you to feel what Kate and the pattern are feeling at the end of this game. Personally, I really enjoyed playing this game. It, for me, took a lot longer than I think it would expect to get used to not being able to sprint everywhere like in other games that I like to play on this channel. But I found the pace of the story able to make your slow moving through the village a lot more bearable. If you are, in the market for a quick game that has a good mystery to help you figure out what's going on, I certainly would recommend playing this game. The visuals are absolutely amazing. They've done a good job taking care of what's going on. Yeah, the visuals may be a little dated as this is a 7-year-old game now, but as far as I'm concerned, it looked absolutely amazing. And the soundtrack was perfect. It's definitely been a while since I've played a game that just makes me stop and think about what I just experienced. It's a good reminder that video games can be art. They can make you feel and experience something, and they can really push a message forward and help you to experience something outside of your normal everyday existence. And there it is, my short, quick, super simple, sweet little review and impressions of playing Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. And thank you guys for watching it. If you like this kind of content and would like to see more, make sure you click the like on this video and even subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. It would help me, and it would help you know when I post more stuff like that. Leave a comment below telling me what other games you enjoy in this style, because I'm certainly looking for more games to play. Of course, check out all the links below for all my other social media profiles, and make sure to say hi. And I will see you guys in the next video.